Unionization is not just good for workers and unions. Unionization is very, very important for the economy overall and would create broad benefits for the United States. If they did have higher wages and benefits, then they would have purchasing power they need to buy more of the goods and services that this economy produces. That would strengthen the economy overall. I took like 40 seconds just to think about that one, and I went, well, if unions are so great, wouldn't that mean then Detroit would be Disney World? Shouldn't that be the most prosperous place on earth? Here's Tim Phillips, President for Americans for Prosperity. Tim, help me out on this one.
Well, sadly, there's delusion going around, and he's drinking water, clearly. When you look at the numbers, states that are non-unionized, where people have the freedom to choose whether to join a union or not, that's where prosperity is, and that's where job growth is. And it only makes sense, right?
Right.
When people have a chance to choose whether or not they're going to join a union over being forced, coerced into joining a union, prosperity results. Jobs are created. When you look at the numbers, they bear this very fact out.
Okay, those are the states that are the free states. Colorado just changed, right?
Yeah, 22 states are free states, 28 states are forced union states.
Okay.
And when you look at the numbers here, it's mind-boggling.
All right.
Flip to the next chart.
Go to the next chart. Where are the numbers here? Do you have the numbers? Which numbers are you looking for?
We're looking for the GDP and the job growth, private job growth.
Okay, private sector.
When you
job.
look at the increase in jobs, the right-to-work states are exploding. 39% job growth, 39%, the union states, 29%. Yet unions are the ones that are supposed to be creating jobs, right? Reality does not bear that out. And then the growth is the most stunning thing. Growth is really just measurements of prosperity. Are jobs being created? Are people having a higher standard of living? When you look at those numbers, you see it's almost 2 to 1. It really is 2 to 1. In free states, right-to-work states, people succeed and grow and have jobs, and that's what we're talking about.
I just finished a stage show. I did a one-man stage show, and had to do it because it was here in New York, had to do it with the union.
Right.
I actually had to pay somebody to stand behind somebody who wasn't union all day. I asked for water backstage. I'm not kidding you. In Philadelphia, at the Kimmel Center, it cost me, I think it was $400 or $450 to put water backstage. I said, I'll just bring my own water. Couldn't do it. Now, how could you possibly tell me that that's good for the country?
Well, it's not. And when you look at population growth, people are voting with their feet. These right-to-work states where there's freedom, population is exploding there. They're beating more than 2 to 1 in population growth, the states that are forced union states. So people vote with their feet. When they have to use these silly rules you just mentioned just to get a job, they get out of there. They go to states where there's freedom.
Back in just a second, a little bit more. The unions. Something that I read from Robert Reich that you'll hear everywhere else about, how states with the unions, they're great. You know what's going to happen is people will have more money because they'll make more money. Well, businesses will go out. Give me productivity in union states versus non-union states.
They always make that claim, the unions do. Hey, we're going to increase productivity through the union. But when you look at the numbers, they don't bear that out. Right-to-work states, free states, the productivity is actually higher, Glenn. And here's why. The workplace rules put in place by the unions kill creativity. They stifle innovation. When people have the chance to freely work and innovate, they're more productive. And that's what happens in the non-union states.
Go back to that slide just again for just a second, please. Okay. Job growth, 17.6% in right-to-work states, 8.9%. And this is the same thing we learned in the Great Depression, is it not?
That is exactly right. And when businesses have a chance to go where they're free and where workers are free to choose whether or not to join a union and take on those onerous new workplace restrictions, that's where the jobs go. I mean, there is a reason Michigan, which is the poster child for forced unionism, right? 10.6% unemployment, highest in the country.
But wait a minute. Let's be fair here. They would say that, well, that's because, the car manufacturers, they just stink on ice. And I personally think that the union workers and everybody they have made really good cars. Right. They've gotten over that hurdle. We ain't making a Pacer anymore.
Right.
But they'll say that that's the company making bad decisions.
If it was just 1 or 2 years where the unemployment rate was higher in Michigan, that argument may make sense. But for 6 years in a row, Michigan lost jobs. 6 years in a row. You can't blame all that just on a down year or two for the automotive industry.
Okay.
The proof's in the numbers there.
Okay. Thank you very much.